Hello everybody, my name is Dratnos, and in this video we're going to talk a little bit about the account-wide essence unlock system process. And then for the most part I'm going to go over kind of all the things I've learned about starting up a fresh character at this point in the patch and a couple of tips that I have for you if that's something you're interested in doing. But let's get started by talking about the account-wide essence system, because this is something that there's been a little bit of consternation about. One thing that you need to be aware of if you haven't yet opened your weekly boxes, you need to log on to a character that already has rank 3 essences before you start opening your boxes on your other guys, or else they're not going to get any Echoes of Ny'alotha from those boxes. So that's something that you have to be aware of. It's really weird. It's stupid, but that's the way it is. So I assume by the time this video is going to come out, it's going to be too late for anybody to benefit from hearing this, but worth saying just in case there is anybody who does. So let's go over how much Echoes of Ny'alotha you're going to get from each different thing you can be doing. The best source is Horrific Visions once you can start full clearing. On a fresh character, you're only going to get 50 echoes, and then you get 25 extra per side area that you do. So on a very fresh character, this source goes from being like insane at 150 per. For reference, you need 500 for a rank 3 essence, down to pretty good. Still, you know, if you're doing a couple of visions per week and you're getting 50 echoes per, that's still not a bad rate. You're still going to get like 150 or 200 total from that source, and then you start getting more per side area. So as soon as you can start doing side areas, you start getting more. Within a couple weeks, this will very easily fill out the rest of your essence tier. On top of that, you're going to get a little bit over 250 from your assaults each week if you do all 3 of the assaults that are available. If you're close to a rank 3 essence, you can go do some emissaries. Most people I know are probably not going to bother with doing emissaries, but particularly if you're trying to turbo boost a fresh alt, you can get a bunch of echoes from doing emissaries on that character. And then on top of that, based on just playing the game in a way that is whatever way is fun for you, you'll also earn more echoes. For many of my characters, I'm mostly going to be relying on this for a couple weeks, these sources, to start gearing up the character. And then when it starts having some more gear, I'll be able to start running this kind of content instead. So I imagine there are a lot of people out there like me who are not going to be having, you know, boss kills or not going to be getting carried through 15s each week, that are instead going to be looking for a way to start up a fresh character without any of those sources. So that's what this video is now going to focus on, is some strategies for doing that. So I want to start with the exact process of starting up a fresh character, what quests you need to do. So if you are entirely fresh, and I'll have a link to this guide in the description below, you need to do a little bit of Nazjatar quest line, not very much, but you basically have to unlock your first essence. Once you've unlocked your first essence, then you are free to ignore Nazjatar, and you'll start doing the 8.3 quest line. One thing that a lot of people don't know, though, is that the 8.3 quest line actually comes with a couple skips. Once you've already done them on a main character, you can skip a couple different parts. So there are 2 scenarios out of the 3 scenarios in that quest line that are skippable, and I'm going to show you which ones they are now, because I've conveniently left some alts in front of them to do here for this video. So here's the first scenario that you can skip. It's the one in Uldum, the Halls of Origination, conveniently titled the Halls of Origination. Normally you get the quest from Magni and you just run into here, but instead you can talk to Magni and say you've heard this tale before, and then bang, quest completed. So that can save you. That's a 10-minute scenario that you can skip that way. So that quest came fairly early in the chain. Then you're going to do an Uldum assault. Then you're going to do a Vale assault. And then you can skip the scenario in the Mogushan Palace called the Engine of Nalaksha here, this quest. This one you can skip by talking to Raden. So the Engine of Nalaksha quest, you just say you've heard it before instead of flying over to Mogushan Palace. This is after you do the assault in Vale. You skip that, and then you are finished that quest as well. And you will still have to do the Blackwing Descent quest scenario. There's no way to get around that, so that is something that you're going to have to live with. But you can skip 2 of the 3 long scenarios, which is worth noting. I know a lot of people who've been like, wait, I've been doing that every time, so don't do that. All right, let's talk a little bit about some other tips for your fresh character. One thing you can send them is a bunch of the Black Empire tokens if you've been saving them. So, Black Empire and then whatever armor type. And then you can get stuff in all your pieces. The Azurite is pretty bad here. So the Azurite that you get is only 1 major trait. So it's actually quite a bit worse than like 390 Azurite with 2 traits for most specs, but it's still, worthwhile item level to have in your bags for the purposes of like queuing for LFR if that's something you want. The one thing that's not going to get you, it's not going to get you rings, weapons, or trinkets. On the trinket front, a lot of characters have pretty good trinkets that you can buy for fairly cheap. So there's the Highborn Compendium series. These are eye level 400 trinkets, and particularly the casting one is quite good. So that's of storms. If you're like playing a caster alt, that can be pretty good. But pretty much everybody can grab one of these things, or even two of these things, and bump up your item level a little bit that way. So that's something that's worth doing because it's going to be a while before you find some good trinkets. You might want to replace some bad questing trinkets that you have. You can buy some other, BOE equipment, but a lot of it's fairly low item level, not necessarily worth doing unless you're trying to reach a certain item level threshold, to queue for an LFR or something. Some other useful stuff you can do, your mains can buy this cache of war resources. So for 650 war resources on a main, you can buy 500 war resources that can be sent to alts. That can be really useful for making sure that you can actually send all your missions and buy bonus rolls, that kind of stuff with war resources. You may have way more than you need on a main already, so sending a couple of those boxes over to an alt will then let you, actually be able to do missions. I'll put what the name of this mission add-on in the description below, by the way, if you're interested in getting this thing, because it's pretty nice. So that's another useful thing you can do. Other good things you can buy, there are Veterans Contract. Okay, so here are the items that you're actually looking for. Veteran Rajani Spark Callers or Veteran Ramkahen Lancers Contract. They're usually fairly cheap, so yeah, less than 1,000 gold on my server. And these things, you can only have one active at a time, but they'll bring back mementos. Very valuable. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about this tech tree. As I was kind of already mentioning, corrupted mementos are worth a lot more at the start of this tech tree, like the small amounts that you can get from other sources, than they are when you're actually on a main character. So something like an extra 200 corrupted mementos is actually a pretty big, jumpstart to your research. And you can earn a lot of corrupted mementos before you start doing horrific visions. For instance, one thing that you should do, your first ever lesser vision. So when you do your quest line at the start of this, your 8.3 quest line, you get a quest to go do a lesser vision before you've actually done a horrific vision. While doing that, you will also probably do the daily quest for that lesser vision. Don't turn that quest in, because if you turn that quest in immediately, you won't get corrupted mementos from it. But if you wait, you can actually turn it in when you've actually unlocked corrupted mementos, and you can get a bunch of extra mementos from that. So that's a way to get a little bit of extra mementos. But another thing you can just do is kind of sit on your horrific visions for a while. Don't run some until you get some more corrupted mementos. So doing some weekly assaults, you're going to get, I might get enough to research another point here. And if you're doing something like clearing raid, if you're getting carried through heroic or normal, you'll get a bunch of mementos. You'll get 800 from just killing a bunch of the mini bosses in the raid encounter. That can turbocharge you all the way to cheat death, which can then let you do an extra side area too. Or, it might get you a little bit faster towards elite extermination. So let's talk a little bit about your strategy on this tech tree. There are kind of two viable strategies as far as I see it. Well, maybe there are three viable strategies. Strategy one is my preferred strategy, which is just rush for cheat death and then go down the tree for elite extermination and gift to the titans. This delays elite extermination and gift to the titans by one research as compared to not getting the cheat death. But I feel like cheat death is really useful because it prevents you from, you can play safely, or you can play a little bit more dangerously knowing you have the cheat death available, and you're less likely to lose a cloak upgrade. Strategy two would be to ignore the cheat death and just to rush down either side of this tree, actually, to elite extermination. That can be better in terms of allowing you to full clear sooner. Elite extermination is something that really makes full clearing much easier. It's a huge power spike there, but it's a little bit less safe in terms of you may miss a cloak upgrade because without access to cheat death, something can go wrong a lot more easily. So if you're interested in playing it a little bit more slow and safe, I would just get this cheat death early. Otherwise, you can go elite extermination. Option 3 is if you're playing with a group. Of course, this is way more powerful, the Expansive Mind is, than the singular sanitation expertise, so you may just want to go right side of the tree. If you're going down the right side of the tree, you definitely don't want to get this synchronized mind stabilizer before elite extermination. I think that this is a lot less powerful than the cheat death. And even though in terms of the actual amount of sanity it restores, it's similar, it's a lot less, getting you out of jail free. And I'd rather just rush elite extermination and gift to the titans if you're doing that on your character. Whatever you do, you can benefit immensely if you have somebody else to run you through some full clears. Any character that has a full tech tree can probably carry you through 0, 1, 2 mask runs without very much difficulty at all. They can just, go through, kill everything. You do need to be alive when they're looting chests to get the mementos from those chests, but most characters that are fully set up and, rank 15 cloaked or whatever should have no trouble doing that. So if you have a friend who's also making an alt, you guys can, swap carrying each other. You can swap some full clear carries for each other, and that can really help jumpstart your fresh alts progress. Okay, the final tip I have for you is about the world boss. World boss actually drops fairly good loot here, 445. That's, not to be scoffed at. Both of them can drop rings. Both the world bosses drop rings, and then they have some other loot that can drop as well. So I'd make sure that you buy your bonus rolls and bonus roll the world boss. If you're going to be capped on bonus rolls, if you're not going to be getting into raid for a while, bonus roll that world boss. You get 2 bonus rolls per week, so maybe you can, wait until you start getting up to a higher amount of bonus rolls from just passively getting them, and then start coining the world boss. Another thing that's worth bonus rolling is if you do get carried through a plus 15 on a new character, bonus roll that too. That's a 465 bonus roll. That's better than bonus rolling a heroic boss. So unless you're going to get into a mythic run soon, that'll be a better bonus roll than everything except for heroic Carapace and heroic N'Zoth. All right, that's all the wisdom I have here for you today. In the description below, I'll try to remember all the things that I promised I'd put there. Also, if you're interested in this week aura here that's tracking all the dailies that are available for you, I'll put that in the description as well, because that's something that's a common thing for people to ask about. Anyways, I hope you found this video useful. If you did, remember to like and subscribe. Check out my Twitch stream, twitch.tv/dratnos. Thanks everybody for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.